This was a decisive moment. Over the coming months, rioting intensified as nationalist youths determined to keep the RUC out of the area. The arguments of those prepared to condone the use of violence in the struggle for civil rights were to be significantly strengthened by the events of the 19th of April. As rioting against the police raged along William Street at the edge of the Bogside, a local resident, Sammy Devenny, had been watching the proceedings from his front doorstep.
Sammy Devenny was very well known in Derry, and he was very well known as a very fair person who was not really politically involved, as far as I know, with anybody or anything. Apparently what happened was that 3 or 4 young boys running away from the police ran in through Sammy's front door, ran through the house and escaped out over the back wall. And the police broke down the door, and I think 5 or 6 policemen went into the room and battered everybody in sight.
And they beat her on the legs.
The assault on Devenny was carried out in front of his family. The following day, his daughter spoke out on national television about the attack. Her testimony sent shockwaves across Derry.
At all times, the only time they used their fists was on me, and one of them kicked my daddy in the corner of the room. One of the policemen. I didn't know it was my daddy at the time because the children were crying, and Freddie Budd, a neighbour, also came into the room before him, and he was on top of 2 of them, and I was on top of 2 of them.
What was to protect them?
To protect them, because we saw the police coming in the room. You know, once they'd kicked my daddy and we knew they would come in.
Well, I had never come across it before, and I don't think anybody else had either, where 5 or 6 policemen would break down someone's door and go in and severely hammer everybody in that house. I mean, as far as I can gather, there was no question asked. Anybody that was there got beaten, and that included the children.
They then kicked my daddy from the corner of the settee right up on the middle of the floor, and his head was lying on the mat, face up, and they walked out, and I knelt down at my daddy, and I was really just praying over him. I thought he was dead. You know, after the beating that he had taken, I thought he never could survive it.
The awful thing was that the policeman, the officer, with his rod of office, a blackthorn stick that was his rod of authority, stood there tapping it on the floor while his men almost beat a man to death.
Devenny died on the 17th of July 1969, less than a month before thousands of Protestant apprentice boys were due to march in the city. He was 43 years old. There was no doubt in the Bogside that his death was a result of the RUC beating. For many in Derry, Sammy Devenny was the first victim of the Troubles.
The feeling in the town at the time was such that we all realised that there couldn't be an apprentice boys march that year, because if there were, there was going to be very serious violence in the town. The fact that Sammy Devenny died and was buried with a massive funeral, I think it was only a couple of weeks before it, was an added significant factor.